Guess where we are today? The bike park.
It's my wife and my first time at a bike park, and we've come to what I think might be the perfect place for us, Mount Abram. It's less than 2 hours from my house, bills itself as beginner-friendly, and it's even newer to mountain biking than I am. This summer is its first season as a bike park. So what's it like? Is it really worth paying $25 for an afternoon of riding when there's so much great riding for free? And what did I learn from my first time at a downhill park? We're gonna get into all that. But the first thing I learned, warm-ups are important. When we got to the park, we went straight to the lift and then down Superchicken, a green trail that's absolutely overflowing with berms. I was having fun, but I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I've never ridden this trail before or the fact that I hadn't warmed up. Warming up is not something I usually need to think about. On a typical ride at home, I've been on the bike for more than 2 miles by the time I got to anything that could be considered a real trail. And I'll admit, I was a little arrogant in assuming that because this trail is green, I could play things a bit fast and loose. I mean, I've ridden tons of blue trails with no problems, right? What could go wrong?
Oh, ooh, ow, oh, yeah, I'm fine. Whew.
Given that my side smashed right into that rock, I was incredibly lucky. My arm got scraped up, my palm got bruised, and my ribs got banged, but somehow, nothing broke. At least I think nothing broke. It's now a few days later and my ribs are still pretty sore. Lesson learned: when you come to the downhill park, don't forget to warm up and don't be an idiot.
What is the most inspiring thing I ever said to you?
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
No, I think I was just being an idiot.
That's what really caused the crash. I just wasn't paying attention and came out of the berm too high and too off balance. Having gotten my dumb crash out of the way, we headed up to check out the other green trail, George's Jungle. This is a bit more meandering, mellow, and forested than Superchicken, and it probably would have been better to start on this one. I personally didn't find it as interesting as Superchicken, so I only rode this one time. But my wife liked it a bit more and ended up hitting it several times. For me, next up was Grease Slapper, a blue flow trail and jump trail that I hit twice, and this is footage from that second run. I didn't feel confident enough to hit most of the jumps, and a lot of them are doubles, which is kind of intimidating. But I got a bit of air on a couple of them, and this trail is genuinely fun.
Oh, well, this really dumps you. Yeah, there we go. That was a jump.
It's the kind of trail I expect would be great for beginners like me to session in sections and build jumping skills, and just fun as hell for more experienced riders to send. Speaking of building and learning, another lesson I've learned is that spending time on faster trails like these downhill flow trails pays dividends in terms of your regular trail riding too. Experienced riders may be cringing every time I squeeze those brakes, but this sustained downhill is helping me get more comfortable with higher speeds on the bike. Case in point, the day after this bike park trip, I went on a trail ride at Bradbury. I didn't even bring my GoPro because I was just trying to burn some calories in a fun way, not do anything new or exciting. But without even trying, I broke 10 different Strava segment PRs and 3 full trail PRs on Trail Forks. Granted, I'm slow and bad, so my records are not hard to break, but I wasn't even trying to break them. I really think it was this stuff, spending more time at speed on downhill flow trails, that made me more confident to get off the brakes and pedal harder on the flat but techy trails at Bradbury. Anyway, after Grease Slapper, I decided to try the climbing trail, which you can opt for instead of the lift. The lift is easy and the lines were super short, but it's really quite slow. Like, I'd recommend you bring headphones and a podcast or something if you aren't riding with someone. In the middle of the day, the lift is also totally unshaded, and it kind of felt like we were sitting up there getting cooked. The climbing trail is a nice alternative. It might not be as fun on a downhill sled, but the Jeffsy is an all-mountain beast that doesn't mind climbs, and most of this trail is pretty mellow and weaves through shaded woods. Next time I come, I think I might start my day by climbing here and then heading down George's Jungle. That would leave me nice and warmed up for my first real run of the day.
All right, do we try Yellow Jacket? Yeah, I think we do. We can always walk some sections of it, right?
And despite the crash earlier in the day, when I got to the top, I was feeling pretty good. So I decided to try Yellow Jacket, the only black trail on the mountain right now. It has a couple of drops, which I skipped. Other than that, it was pretty mellow, fun tech. My only complaint is that it's really short, and it's kind of the only techie trail on the mountain right now. As they keep building, I hope we'll see a bit more of this, and I know that's in their plans.
This little guy right here.
There's a little more to Mount Abram than what we had time to explore. A green loop called Sneaky Pete, for example, and a still under construction blue line called Whiplash. But I'm not worried we missed them because we'll definitely be coming back. Mount Abram might not be for everyone, and the trail options are still pretty limited. But if you're a newer mountain biker and you live in the vicinity or you're traveling to Maine for the summer, I think it's well worth the visit. It's also probably worth visiting for riders of any level who want to progress with their jumping or cornering, or anyone who just wants to have some fun. If I lived close enough to Mount Abram to qualify for a community pass, I'd buy one in a heartbeat. Given the distance, the time left in the season, and the fact that I have a 5-year-old, I'm not sure a season pass makes sense for this year. But it's going to be seriously worth considering next year, when they'll hopefully be able to open for a full season, and when they'll also presumably have a few more trails on offer. Until then, though, there's always day passes. I'll definitely be back at Abram again, and I expect you'll probably see it again on this channel, because there's a lot I could work on and learn here. If you want to see that, or if you just want to make sure you don't miss my next crash, hit subscribe and stick around.